Good evening and welcome everybody to the regular Gilbert Council meeting of August 25th, 2020. I'll have the clerk read the roll call, please.
Councillor Pulis?
Here.
Councillor Leone?
Here.
Councillor Skenzich?
Here.
Councillor Robich?
Here.
Mayor Obastar.
Here.
Also let the record show that City Engineer John Jamnick, Executive Administrative Clerk Paulson, and Deputy Clerk Gulen are all in attendance. Mayor?
Thank you, clerk. We have established a quorum. We can have a meeting. Would you all rise and help me open this meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Go somewhere.
All right, we have a couple additions to tonight's agenda. First one is add access road parcel 0 to the property of 060-0052-01250 and call the Plesha property up behind the school. And the next one is we approve the request of training for our wastewater treatment plant employee Tara Reinerson to attend a type 4 basic training in St. Cloud, the Best Western Hotel. Do I have a motion to approve those two additions?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Motion by Councillor Pulis, supported by Councillor Leone to approve these two additions. Any more discussion? Councillor Robich.
Aye.
Councillor Pulis.
Aye.
Councillor Skenzich.
Aye.
Councillor Leone.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries. Next, we have the approval of City Council public hearing minutes of August 13th, 2020. We want to move to approve those.
All motion to approve.
I'll second.
Moved by Councillor Leone, supported by Councillor Skenzich to approve those minutes. Any more discussion, corrections, deletions, or additions to be noted? Councillor Skenzich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councillor Leone.
Aye.
Councillor Pulis.
Aye.
Councillor Robich.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries. Okay, the August 13, 2020 City Council working session minutes.
I've looked them over and I'll make a motion to approve.
Moved by Councillor Pulis. Do I hear support?
I'll second.
Second by Councillor Leone. Any more discussion? Councillor Skenzich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councillor Leone.
Aye.
Councillor Pulis.
Aye.
Councillor Robich.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, regular council meeting minutes of August 13th. I reviewed them all, so as well.
Motion to approve.
Rebecca removed.
Moved by Councillor Robich, supported by
Second.
by Councillor Pulis. Any more discussion? Councillor Robich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councillor Pulis.
Aye.
Councillor Leone.
Aye.
Councillor Skenzich.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 5-0. All right, next is public input. Anybody in the audience tonight have anything they wish to discuss with the council other than what's on tonight's agenda? Please state your name.
Beth Milos. There's a few things that I wanted to touch on really quick. I know Joe's been made aware of, and I'm sure Jeremy's been made aware of too, that there's some serious issues with some speeding and people not stopping at stop signs or even pausing at yield signs. My husband's vehicle was hit in March, and then he was almost T-boned last week on the corner of Dakota and Summit. People are not even stopping at the stop sign. They're not even looking. I was mowing lawn up by the school, and that yield sign on, is it Nebraska and Summit? I mean, they're just blowing right through. They're not even pausing. And so I've done a little bit of research, and because there's a lot of small communities that can't afford, we can't afford police sitting on every corner, or even we really can't afford for any police to sit on any corner or one corner. I think that the council should really look into a high def remote camera system. They usually come in 3 or 4 cameras, and I think they should be posted and they can be moved. They run about $350 a camera, but they can actually be connected right to officers' iPhones. They can be connected right to the police department. And with it being high def, you catch the license plate and you have it posted that area is under surveillance, and you start sending people warnings or sending people tickets. There's people that will, on a Sunday, will do burnouts in the front of my liquor store all the way down to Memory Lane at 11 o'clock on a Sunday. And I actually closed my store and went and caught the kid and told him, you can't do that. There's kids riding on their bikes on the sidewalk. You're going to kill somebody. So I just feel like that's a viable resolution, something that's cost effective. Someone's child is going to get hit. Something's going to happen. And so just hopefully a preventative measure. So that's just an idea. If Ty wants to get a hold of me and get the info for the cameras, they work in the winter, everything. So, and it probably isn't a bad idea to have 4 more cameras in town. And like I said, they're remote, so they can move them to wherever the problem spots are. And whether Ty wants to address sending people tickets, but I think that's a really good way. You'd probably pay for the cameras within your first month.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that to our attention. We've had a couple meetings about Summit Street since we took the main street apart. We're talking about more stop signs, and if they're not helping with these stop signs, so something needs to be done. I'm in favor of more surveillance cameras. And is Ty on board over there? Ty, are you there?
Yes, I am. We can look into it to talk to the city attorney about legalities. Minnesota outlawed traffic cameras for speed, but I'm not aware of stop signs. So I have to look into it and see and do some research with the city attorney on that. The other thing that we're going to do is we've been putting a squad car out in separate areas of the city. Just put it there for a day, then we move it, flop it around, and I'll put it up on Dakota. I know that, like Beth stated, that is one of our probably top 4 crash sites next to Wisconsin and Summit is where a majority of our crashes are at, along with Minnesota.
It's really, and the other thing is I'm actually gonna, within the next 30 days, I'm equipping my vehicle with a dash cam because, and I'm careful. I watch because I know people don't yield and I know people don't stop. If I wasn't paying attention, I would be hit daily. It is ridiculous. And there's small kids that live all along Dakota. There's small kids. It's also, what's your street, Tammy? Wisconsin. It's real. We've got these people that are just 40, 50 miles an hour going up the hill, and it's just really dangerous. So I think, go
I
ahead.
agree. And
Do you think it's the same people, basically, you think? I know I got some plates of certain ones that are doing it, but.
And I can provide a couple plates too, because I try to watch at the liquor store also. Just because, I mean, there's times where I have to get out of the store and go and stop traffic so kids can go across the main street. I mean, it's pretty, people just aren't, I don't know if they just think this is a 4-lane so they can just, you know, they don't have to pay attention, or they can go as fast as they want. But yeah, I mean, I'm just about looking for a solution. And I think, and the other thing is, property owners on those bad corners, I'm sure wouldn't have a problem putting cameras up. So if there's a legality issue, maybe private citizens need to just put cameras up, and then we refer that to the police department, and the police department let these people know that we're paying attention, we're watching. So the other thing that I just wanted to touch base is,
I just want to say, well, first of all, I want to ask the councilor, anybody object to doing that? If it's legal to go along and have Ty go pursue this, are we okay?
Yeah, I agree.
I have no issue.
Councilor Ovich?
I see them rush by my house all the time. They go right past mine, right past yours.
How about Councilor Ovich? You're okay with that, to pursue it? Hello?
I don't have an immediate objection. I guess I too would want to, you know, confirm with legal and maybe do some research on my own if there are other mitigation efforts we could take.
Okay.
okay.
All right, so basically we have a consensus here to go ahead if it's legal, so.
Okay, great. And then the other thing is, I just wanted to put it out there that I've gotten a lot of feedback about the road that for the cemetery, the cost. I believe it's $53,000. My only concern, and I know you're trying to move the cemetery forward, and I like the progressive thinking, but my concern is that the cemetery does not make the city any money, and it's collectively in the negative. If you were to run the cemetery like a business, it'd be in the negative every single year. And so when you spend $53,000 on a road, when are you going to get that money back? When is the cemetery going to earn that money back? And if it's not within 5 years, you should really look at something else. And so it's just a lot of money. And I don't know how many lots are available, but I know there are a lot of lots available. So just wanted to put it out there too. I like the progression. I think you guys are moving in the right direction. My concern is just the price.
Number one, we're not putting a new road up there for $53,000. The $53,000 is blacktopping the dirt road that we have there now.
Okay, and I think that's excessive.
Well, it was 40 a couple of years ago, and then things go up.
Right, but the thing is spending $53,000 on blacktop in the cemetery when we've got pipes bursting, we've got I&I that hasn't been addressed, people's rainwater are running through that system. That's going to be a new system. There's a lot of other places you could put $53,000 just to blacktop a cemetery road. That's crazy. That's a lot of money just for a road. That would be something that for a city that has money. I mean, we don't have any money. The taxpayers are going to be feed and taxed on top of what we're already being feed and taxed for a cemetery road. I just don't think that that's right.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything to discuss with the council?
Hi, I'm Cammie Smith. I'm the one that lives on Wisconsin Avenue West. I have, I think, talked to you and to you about the cars speeding up and down. There have been multiple cars that I can't even see if it's a male or a female. No, I have not called the cops. If I called the cops on all these fast vehicles that go up and down the street, they might as well just sit in front of my house. I have a 9-year-old granddaughter. I have a 5-year-old granddaughter. I have a grandson and a granddaughter who are 3 and an 18-month-old. I don't have no kids living at home, but if you drive by my house, you'll see toys, and kids all the time. 2 doors up are 2 little girls that also play with my grandkids. And 3 doors up, their 3 kids play with all my grandkids. If a ball, a toy, anything would go out into that road, and either they ran out or I ran out for as fast as these vehicles are going, I would even be killed. I did follow one the other day. It was a silver van. No, I could not get a license plate. I wish I could have. I thought, well, you know what? The best thing, instead of calling the cops because they have enough to do, I'll just get in my vehicle and go. Think I could find it? Today, there had to be a truck, gold truck, had stuff in the back of it. Had to be going faster than even the van the other day. You could hear them from Wisconsin and go all the way up the street. Which way they turned by the time I would get in my vehicle or I would get out to the sidewalk. A child go out there, they would fly up to the alley. That's how fast some of these vehicles are going up and down the street. And like I said, I haven't called the police. They have enough. They have enough to do. I don't know what more I can do than to yell, slow down. But then I get the FU, I get the finger. I don't get ever anybody stopping and talking to me. I talk to them. I tell them to slow down. You're going to kill somebody. That's all I got.
Thank you. Sandra, you want to shut that mic up? Unless there's somebody else that wants to talk. I want to thank all the citizens for coming here forward and talking about their concerns up there. We've been talking about them as a council for months, a couple months now, and we've directed our city police chief to do something about it. And we've had some good ideas here. We've been just reporting people coming to us and talking. That it's nice to have somebody at the meeting here and say, reaffirm this situation that's going on up there. So, and also we have the gates going to go put back up on the Hopkins Park, so there'll be no entry up to Hopkins Park area because there's some illegal behavior going on up there. So we got that coming as soon as the Public Works can get the gates ordered or made or whatever, but that'll be happening too for the people up there. We are aware of that. We thank you for coming and letting us know and giving us some ideas on what to do. We'll pursue them and continue to curb this speeders and traffic and these close calls up there. So, yeah, we're all committed to do that here as a council, right? Councilors? Right. All right. Anybody else then for public input? All right. Reports by mayor and council. Councilor Obit, you have anything?
Just that I did attend the Civic Center meeting about 2 weeks ago, and the financial report from this year, due to the lack of use of the facility with the coronavirus, the facility is down $10,000 year over year from where they were at last year. We did opt not to request an increase in the funding from the cities, as they do believe that they can make operating revenue stretch throughout the remainder of the year in an effort not to add any additional burden to the cities. So I believe that's coming up on the agenda as well, that we do have a request for funding, which will be consistent with what was requested last year.
All right, thank you. Councilor Polis?
The only thing I have to add is on the speeding issue is I am working with the citizens of Gilbert. I've talked to a few people about it, and I would like people to keep coming forward with any information they got, and I will work with you and the Gilbert PD to get this resolved, because this is ridiculous. It shouldn't be happening, and it's like they said, someone's going to get killed, hurt, or even worse. So I think we need to put everyone on notice. If you're going to be speeding through Gilbert, we will catch you.
Thank you. Councillor Skinsich?
No, no formal report. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Leone?
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. I have a few things here. It's been brought to my attention early this evening that former city employee Ken Hagman was an electrician in Gilbert for many years, about 10, I think, believe. Did a wonderful job for the city of Gilbert. He has passed away today. I consider him as a good employee here and a dear friend. He was here. He was very committed to Gilbert, and I'm saddened by his passing here. And my condolences and the city's condolences to their family. And Kenny lives up in Ely right now, but he lived in Ely as he was working here in Gilbert for many years in the 80s and 90s. Also, I want to apologize to all the homeowners. I think there was 2 or 3, or maybe up to 4 that Sam reported to me. They had sewer or water, some kind of water back up into their homes this last heavy rain that we had. Apologize for that. And I guess it hasn't happened for a long, long time. And it's an issue that was, I think, the early 90s. In fact, I was talking to Chairman Mr. Tamaro from Fail when this happened, and he was walking in Fail, and I was at the Ely Lake Park there, and I reminded him of the issue, how I wanted at that time in the 90s, when the Fail and hooked up to Gilbert down at the lower road, our backbone, our spine of our sewer system, everything comes down into that line, and we added all that, everything from the south to that line. So we really made that line smaller. And I wanted a one mile extra line going all the way, like where the original line I would be, and then where Joe is, he would be the new line, and a bridge between them. So any overflow would, another line would have been good, not just making this line smaller. And that was in the 90s. And I got voted down here 4-1 on that line. 4-1 on that line. And that would have never happened with that heavy rain the other day, had we had that other line. Now I'm asking the council tonight, 30 some years later, to televise that line, clean and televise, see what's going on. This line is reduced down 24, 12, 15, all the way down, because that end of town was less populated at once upon a time than this end of town. Well, now that end of town, with all the influx from that area coming that way, is more populated in this area. Thank God we had this lagoon with the I&I situation we have in Gilbert, which we're going to address yet, but the COVID has stopped us. We've had a person ready to go and inspect the I&I situation. The I&I situation is the biggest factor in why this sewer plant had to be remodeled or brand new one put in place. But depending on this televised line, maybe a bigger line needs to be put in the original spot. Maybe. That would help. I don't know. We'll see what it says. But had we had those 2 lines, this taking all of that and this one taking our original city proper, that would never happen. I don't think. But anyway, it bothers me, haunts me, and when it happened, and I apologize to those people on there. I remember back then, 30 years ago, we had 6 or 8 homes back up down in this whole area. And I thought, well, we're never going to get people to build homes down on this end of town if we don't correct this problem. And every time when a house went up down there, I was worried. And hopefully Gilbert's committed into finding what happened here and resolving that issue. Nobody, I don't think anybody wants to clean up that mess. Again, I apologize to you people that had to go through that. We had a meeting with yesterday over the phone conference and computer with Ovivo. I report to the council that it was a good meeting. A lot of stuff was discussed. We're not happy with the operation of our plant down there. It's not what it was expected 3 years ago when they were sold this place. We let them know that. We expect to get what we bargained for. And they know where we stand, and they're willing to, they gave us a couple options, which I don't think benefits the city at all. Maybe 3 new membranes or trains or whatever they call it is the way to go. Apparently these aren't working right. And since then, they've got newer and better technology on these things, but it was not there 3 years ago. But we were working together. We're going to have another meeting in a couple more weeks and see. I know, I guess I can say that I did get these membranes were not the ones we were supposed to get. So that I did get out of the conversation. So why didn't we get what we were supposed to get? Yes.
When I was elected mayor in 2017, this project was well on the way. And Mayor Kutze had signed off on it. And I was warned, and I've been warned multiple times by some people that run Virginia's wastewater treatment, in that the membranes that they wanted and set up are going to be way more expensive than they're projecting, the replacement. And the fact that the I&I isn't taken care of yet, that all that water running through is actually going to wear on those membranes even more. And the fact that they're not giving you the membranes that they originally promised that were already kind of iffy, and now they're going to give you a second. Plus the project, I mean, and you know this, the project's been way over what they said it was going to be. They've planned, their plan, I mean, there's been times where they've had to come back to the council for money because they didn't plan the electrical, or they didn't plan, you know, something was left out of the plan, which is not the city's problem. And I think that we were sold a bill of goods, a very expensive bill of goods, and now they're going to try to bait and switch. The membranes, they're not right for the city to begin with, but we were stuck with them because it was already taken care of. You know, we were basically already locked into the agreement with Stantec, right? So I think, especially now that they're trying to switch these membranes, and it's been way more costly than what they originally said. There's been change orders. There's been multiple things happening. I think it's time for the city to stand and do something about it. This is a very expensive wastewater treatment plant, especially for a city this size. I think it's time to start looking for options, whether they're taking money off of it, whether they're figuring out something else, because if they're not going to give you the membranes that they originally promised, they're breaking their contract. They're breaking what they said, which they've done quite a few times. So talking to other citizens, talking to other people who actually run wastewater treatment plants, there's a real concern for these membranes. So I think that as a council, you guys have full backing from citizens to stand up to a company that is trying to do a bait and switch. And people are noticing that. People are seeing the price going up and up and up. So I think just for you guys to know that people are standing up for you and we don't want to see the city taken advantage of. So just putting that out there.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Well, we'll let the citizens know we are not satisfied with the operation down there. Our staff is telling us it's not running comparable. There's 3 membranes, and we've been told 2 are supposed to be running, and maybe 1 is a standby. And when 1 is on maintenance, the other standby comes in. But now we have all 3, and all 3 running, and they can't even keep up with the situation. So there's something's wrong. We're not satisfied with that. We got a big punch list. We've had change orders that were not in the original plan, that all this other stuff. Yeah, we're not happy. We are having a conversation. Stantec's been sticking up with us. Stantec is our special engineer, not like John for city, but they're standing by us on that with Ovivo. So we have, but we haven't started the 2-year warranty yet. We have a 2-year warranty. And then after that, if we need to go see somebody with a robe, that's when that happens. But until the 2 years, we haven't started the clock on that yet until after November 8th, which is the final date of completion. Then there's a 2-year warranty where we talk about getting the thing fixed because it's under warranty. If it's not under warranty in 2 years, then we start other proceedings. And hopefully we won't have to get that far. Hopefully we can get this rectified in a win-win situation for everybody. And that's what we're working on. Those membranes, well, I was surprised when I heard, because of timing, we were sent some other membranes that apparently are not doing the trick, not doing what the other ones would have done. So maybe they've offered to send us something to add on to these, which would take our future capacity away. Say Gilbert wanted to grow with 50 more houses and Fail wanted to grow with 50 more houses. You put them in now, just to run right with what we got, we don't have that capacity for 100 more houses then no more. So then what? No, that's not the solution. We got to get these membranes running and have opportunity for growth yet in the future. So we're working on it, and we're having a conversation, and it's been good conversations so far. And everybody knows what the situation is, where we stand and where they stand. So for the 12 million, Gilbert has 6 million tied into it, and grants and other things. Minnesota Pollution Control is involved. The Minnesota State is involved for 6 million. So they're a partner. So they would help us if we need to go after the 2-year program warranty is up, go further. But geez, I'm worried about next winter. I don't want to see that lagoon overflowing. I don't want to see opening up the spigot and going the old way, or bringing tankers down there to pump out the lagoon to bring them over to Virginia or somewhere. No, that's not how the sewer plant's supposed to run. It's supposed to be run with 1 million gallons a day, or 1 million, so many on the capacity of that piping down there, which may need to be increased. Would have been increased with another pipe, but the membranes are not working right anyway. The piping and the membranes are 2 different issues. But yes, we were working on it, citizens of Gilbert. We were working for the benefit of Gilbert now and in the future to get this thing running properly, not worse than we had before. So that I report that meeting with the council. We ended up in good terms, and we're going to come back and hopefully they'll say they'll swap them out. They've done it in other communities. Well, we got maybe 3 lemons here. Maybe we'll bring the ones that are supposed to be there. Hopefully that'll come to that conclusion. I don't think everything else is the Main Street. The lights in a couple of weeks on the center islands will be coming down, maybe dark in that area of town. We're trying to get some portable lighting put up if possible, with some, there'll be a little noisy to their gas operated lighting, portable in the intersections. Maybe one problem to another problem there for noise and with safety or flashers or something. Be like that till probably October. Hopefully we'll get some safety lighting in that area. Down on this end of town, Island had to come out so they can do some traffic control over here. We've got a CDBG money water and sewer line to go across Indiana Avenue from top to lower that needs to be connected. And that's what's going on down here. That's just that water and sewer line and everything going to be done. Then that's back to normal again until next year. So that's all that's going to happen on this end. You see some work down here. All right. And everything else is on the agenda here. Thank you. All right. Next we have City Attorney. Is Mr. Bopesh on board here yet?
Hi, Mayor. Yes, I'm here.
How you doing? You got anything to report, sir?
No report today. No, Mr. Lindsay reviewed the agenda and nothing to report, but I'll be on the call if anyone has questions.
All right then. Anybody on the council wish to ask him anything, or Councilor Poulos?
What did we find out on the library about the whole signing that form stuff? Was that a go?
As far as signing with the temperature?
Yeah.
I'll have to check in on that. We didn't speak specifically on that. We talked about the masks and other stuff, but I'll check in with Brian and we can get you guys an answer right away.
Jim, do you know the answer to that?
May I ask?
Councilor, City Clerk first.
Well, we can let Sue sent me an updated health screening form today. I believe she talked to Brian before she sent it to me, so I'll defer over to Sue at this time.
Yes, I did. I conferred with him on both papers, and he liked the one for the signing. There was no, I have not put in for a temperature, for a thermometer guess of, for temperature. And then I did send in the COVID-19 health screening paper, and Jim does have the copy. I did go over this with Brian over the phone, and he liked it and said it was a go.
So the library is open now for the computer usage then?
Only when you guys say so. I'm not trying to rush it because I know there are cases out there. I would like to do a soft opening. So we're not going to blare out and say, oh, we're open for computers, quick sign up. No, it'll be a soft opening. And as people get to know it, we will schedule them carefully and slowly and only a couple at a time. I don't know if the council has my latest COVID-19 health screening, but I'll be happy to email it to all of you or send it, have Sandra make you copies.
Okay, on that issue, last meeting, we as a council agreed to have it open under the green light of the city clerk and city attorney. And if they give the green light, it's open. So we don't need to do any more.
So I was asking if they got green lighted or not.
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor. And Councilor Poulos, to just expand on what Sue was saying, the COVID-19 health screening, I did pass out to the council here today, and those bullet points at the top and questions A through E, that's a self-screen that the customers and the patrons would be answering on their own. So, the other piece that is in the packet from Sue, I did review that also with Attorney Lindsay. And then I went over to the library, had a nice talk with Sue on Friday. Maybe it was Thursday, it was some day last week. Anyway, I think their plan is a solid plan. I think it's something we can start with. If it doesn't work and doesn't flow very well, as me and Sue discussed, we can always pull it back, but I think it's a good starting point for reopening the library, at least for the computer usage.
Thank you.
All right, so we come under Sue's business. We're going to give her the green light to go then. All right. All right, Councilor Leone. You have any questions for City Attorney?
No, done a good job.
Councilor Skansich? City Engineer, John Javnik.
Number of things on the agenda yet, but one update on the Lower Michigan CDBG project from last year. We're still waiting for the contractor to finish the punch list, which includes replacing some of the seed and with sod down on the Lower Michigan, the alley, and the residents down there. And basically, their general contractor's having a difficult time getting his subcontractor schedule just because he's so busy. But I just wanted to be counsel that's still an issue that the punch list I am still on from last year's project, and we're still holding retainage on the contractor though.
Do you feel that it'll get done, that punch list?
Well, they told me by the end of the month they will be there to get it done.
Okay.
Well, it's been about a month and a half, been hearing that almost.
Mhm. Okay, well, let's keep on that.
Yeah,
Okay,
I just wanted, we're
there's
still,
residents on there really unhappy with the
Yes.
job down there, and
Yep.
they need to be satisfied, okay?
thank you.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for John? Councilor Polis?
John, at the last meeting, we talked about the Highway 37 deal, which I'm sure you'll bring up later. But the question was, do we know when they're going to start doing the tar job and doing the turn lanes and stuff? Because that's been abandoned for a while now. People are wondering what's going on.
With the turn lane?
Yeah, how they dug them out like they're going to put them in when they do the tar. I thought we were starting on that end and working our way this.
Well, we've been at the meetings every Wednesday, and I think they've talked about trying to give us the updated schedule where they're posted it here. I don't get a good schedule. And I think that's a little bit of frustration for Sam too. We just don't know exactly what your schedule is. And, we heard Doug talk about trying to get some more information to the city to let the public know where they're going on these areas. So
The issue I see is winter's coming around the corner. If those aren't something done with them, there's going to be a lot of problems. Just the cones alone, the gravel. I mean, it's a dip quite a bit. I mean, a lot of trucks got to try to get in and out of there. So.
Clerk.
Councilor Polis, I have not heard any change of the schedule, but I will follow up with MnDOT and I'll have a report for you next week.
Okay.
And we do have our meeting every Wednesday. We have our construction meeting across the street. So,
Sam, you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to just add on that. All MnDOT. One thing is they won't go through winter. All the cones have to be picked up before winter. I think their end date for any construction is like either October 20th or October 29th. So all the cones and everything will be done and picked up by that date. They didn't give us a really good date when they're going to start blacktopping because their blacktop crew is elsewhere, it sounded like, on the Eveleth end and coming into Gilbert. Hewlin Brothers was, I believe, going to be the one who was doing that main line. And I thought they said maybe it'll be mid-September, but don't hold me to that, is what I thought they mentioned at the last meeting on Wednesday. But it could be sometime mid-September before you see any blacktop from Eveleth to Gilbert being put down. That's all I had.
Okay, Councilor Poulos, you are right. We were wanting to go this way to City Hall or Fire Hall here and this year, but because the residents or businesses on this end of town did not mail back their waivers for the $500, and no, the highway department said 60%, not all of them, 60% of the people down on this area did not send it back And so they could not start on this end of town. So they had to start on that end of town because they needed more than 50% to go ahead with this thing. So if you sent it in, that's fine, but there's a lot of people that did not.
No, I'm actually being sued by the state of Minnesota for eminent domain. And there's a lot of other property owners because they had multiple representatives. From my understanding, they had 5 different representatives. My representative never got back to me. I own a whole block and they're going to cut 3 feet into my blacktop. And I have very nice blacktop. What they wanted was a bid from a contractor if that cut erodes. Because if MnDOT does damage to your property, they are not responsible. And that's the first thing they tell you. Also with my lit sign, they wanted to give me $500 for my entire block, but Devo at the sandbar got $3,650. I was never contacted and I was never called back. I called and left 3 messages and I was never called back for them to receive these estimates. So MnDOT, instead of getting people, and I talked to MnDOT today and they have they're supposed to have a public relations person because now they're realizing that people weren't contacted. They weren't followed up with. And I was one of those people. So to say they had too many people doing it and the multiple people didn't follow up on it. So that's not what happened.
Okay, well, thank you. We've heard other story that they've 60% didn't return their papers. And so.
And maybe they didn't, but the thing is that one representative of MnDOT was telling, the bar owners on this end, oh, we can give you as much as you want, give us an estimate. And then we had 3 other representatives telling other people different issues. The thing is if they're going to cut into people's blacktops, and they even said, oh, we might accidentally cut into your electricity for your sign, and make sure you get an estimate. If no one calls you back, what are you supposed to do? So now we go to court in October, which doesn't make any sense because wouldn't you just send the MnDOT representatives back and follow up?
I hear what you're saying, and that's MnDOT's issue. That's not ours, but
that's why they hired a PR person, is because there was some loose ends that no one tied up.
It was good to hear that point of view. Yeah.
Okay.
That we're not aware of. So that's why I just want to tell Mr. Pullis. Now you heard both sides from the home property owner and from what they told us. That's why they started this way. So, okay, thank you. Well, it's too bad that had to happen that way. So, and discrepancy in amounts of money, I don't understand that. So, but anyway, next year they're going to come down to New York. Next year, because the thing has started, they don't have to wait till July. As soon as the road restrictions are off, they'll start in May or mid-May or something down here up into VFW and stop at July 1st there. And we'll have our 3rd July festivities for everything should be open all the way down. And then do the middle after the 4th, mid-July, and finish till October next year. So. Or anything else, John?
Well, under my agenda item, it's that access to parcel that we talked about at the meeting.
Right, we brought that over from our working session. Councillor Pullis and Councillor Robich were not with us, so we have the person here tonight. If you need any questions answered by him, Mr. Plesha back over there. Mr. Plesha owns that property up behind the school. I think you got drawings with you. And he's got a buyer for that piece of property, and he needs access to the city of Gilbert. And we need to authorize the city engineer. It's only about a block, not even a block, access to get from there to the city of Gilbert Street, New Jersey, or even closer to that on Wisconsin Avenue. If we can get the school to give us the easement over there. But we own the property over here at top of New Jersey, the city owns, to give them a block. It's no bigger or longer than what we did on Summit Street, at the end of Summit Street over here. His sale is depending upon the city providing that access, okaying that access tonight, and implementing it whenever it needs to be implemented. The person is not ready to build or anything right now, I don't believe, but he's not going to buy the piece of property if he can't get access to Gilbert. So, Councilors Kensich, Leone, and I are in favor of city providing the access and motioning to that effect tonight. And authorizing the city engineer and clerk to develop a plan that's affordable and doable and workable for city of Gilbert to that piece of property. And I think if you look at your paperwork, going from our old water tank up New Jersey, or whatever way would be the way to go, well, they'll do it. That's the motion we need tonight. Okay, that access, or committing to that access, and then implementing it in a future date. Anybody, Councilor Robich or Pulis, do you want to speak on that? Or have questions for the property owner? Mr. Plesha, he's here.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. The question I have is, you stated that the city engineer was going to do some work in conjunction with this access road. Is that being expensed by the city, or is the property owner reimbursing the city for that work?
That is responsibility of the city of Gilbert to provide access to any property owner in Gilbert. Not above, not in their yard, but on city property. That's city's responsibility. And if he requests, Mr. Plesha could request access if he wanted to, all on his own, and we'd have to provide it. Once they request, we need to provide that access.
So the access is taking place on city property only?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just like Rebecca said, I guess my question is, what's it going to cost the city to do this?
We don't know that. We need to provide them access, a road punched, and our streets are 60 feet. We don't know if there's sewer and water needed to go up in that area yet. There'll be a CDBG project if that be. But right now we need to commit to an access of a dirt road. And then after a 2-year period, that dirt road needs to be blacktopped and might as well be 60 feet. Like our other streets are in Gilbert. And like I said, I don't think it's no further than this Summit Road over here. Any of those two locations, Wisconsin or over here, that's all you're looking at is a block like that. And if sewer and water is needed sometime in the future, we can put in for a grant for that. So, right now we need to punch in a road anyway.
Go ahead, John.
John?
Jersey access is the route where between the city right away and city owned property, you can get to the first property. Legal access is there because the city owns the property.
But there's no road, there's nothing to.
No physical road,
Yeah.
that's where the parking lot, you go to the parking lot. Point. Stand in New Jersey straight up, you've got, you need an easement from the resident property.
Yeah. So it's
As And the same with Wisconsin is, I mean, access to property up on Wisconsin, we would be an easement from the property owner and the way this school is. Wisconsin, access to property.
It's cleaner on the,
Motion is that we have access through New Jersey to get the property.
well, yeah, we have access. Well, we will be providing access to that property is what he needs by this council in a form of a punching a road through somewhere, and be cleaner if it was on city property.
I'm saying there's New Jersey, Wisconsin, or even an extension of Nebraska could provide access to this.
Yeah.
40 acres, now what they want to do and where they may build. Access to build.
Yeah, and how much to put it,
North end of Wisconsin or the south end of New Jersey.
and how much money to put into that road, so, yeah. So there's three options.
So you're saying that there is already a road there, but in order for us to punch another one through, we have to get an easement from the property owner.
We don't have legal easement.
Right,
We own the city owns the property on New Jersey.
right.
We've got that extended past Wisconsin, which is on that, on the maps that I provided there.
Mm-hmm.
You can see, New Jersey's fine. Wisconsin, when we have is a private property owner and school district. We have to get an easement from one of those two physically build a road to the top.
Okay.
And that's, I think, part of the motion is to do that. Myself working with Jim to talk to our school district, some of the other property owners.
So we're just putting a motion in for you to talk to them, not spend money or anything.
Well, we're making a motion that the city is committed to providing this access to that property. When they want it, then we have to do it, so. We're committed to, we'll do it, and when we're gonna do it depends on when they need it. Any more discussion? Mr. Plesha, would you like to talk to the counselor? We have two counselors that are joining us tonight that weren't here at the earlier meeting. If you want to say something, I'll let you, welcome you to say something.
I guess, do they have any questions for me?
Any,
I'll let Rebecca go first.
Rebecca?
I don't have any questions for Mr. Plesha. I guess the only question I would have is, you keep stating that the city is obligated to provide access, which I don't disagree with. However, I haven't heard anything about an obligation as to what form of access. There could be a very different cost association with a dirt road versus a paved road. I'm not clear on what it is that we're providing at this point to agree to a motion.
My understanding of planning and zoning rules of, which I haven't looked into lately, whenever we give access or roadway to some location, the city of Gilbert provides the roadway, and within a 2-year period, that roadway was supposed to be blacktopped and not just left as a rural, looking like a rural road in the city limits. So if that's been changed in the last 30 years, I don't know, but we need to provide roadway to this property upon request, and that's the request is here tonight. Access to this property. We have been, how many years you've been owning it? It's been in the family to not ask for this access until tonight. and they've been paying taxes up there for years. And here they are asking for access, and this bill of sale is dependent on that commitment by the city providing that access. And we need to approve that. And how we do it is another issue. Not an alleyway, a streetway. And we're extending New Jersey, which is a street. And that would be dirt for a while. And it'll be blacktop after that. And depending on if sewer and water needs to be put in that area for a block, then that'll be another issue to council. At some point, we'll be having to consider it and ask for grants or help for. But otherwise, something as big as the Summit Street, a block, just picture it somewhere down the road, maybe in a few years, blacktop, gutter, and sewer and water. When? Not right away here, but at some point in time, that'll have to be. But tonight we're okaying the first step and saying that we're committed to providing that access when it's needed. So,
I guess I do have one other question, possibly for Mr. Plesha, and that would be, what is the intended use of the property upon sale? Is a house being built there? Is it some other type of structure? What is the plan?
It's my understanding as of right now, they're looking at it to build a private residence up there. What they plan in the future, I don't know. It's zoned residential too, so there is potential for additional residences up there, but that's, entirely up to them.
okay. Anything else, Counselor?
Nothing further from me.
Okay, Counselor, are we ready to vote on that? We went discussion before a motion and a second. Is Council ready to do something for this, on this issue?
I would make a motion that we would provide access, I guess, upon request, or
We've got a request now, or commit to our access.
commit to it, I guess. I guess, yeah, I don't know how you want to list it, but commit to getting an access to that property upon request.
No, we have the request. No. The city is committing access to this property.
Okay, that's all listed then.
And how we do it is another thing later.
Yeah. I'll make a motion then that we move forward with providing an access.
I'll second it.
Been moved by Councillor Skenzich, supported by Councillor Ioni, to affirm that the city of Gilbert is committed to providing an access to the Plesha property and working on how that is to look in the future dates, but a commitment to doing that. So he can go to his closing and with that in writing with our minutes here. All right, Councillor Robich, how you vote?
Aye.
Councillor Pulis?
Nay.
Councillor Ioni?
Aye.
Councillor Skenzich?
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-1. Councillor Pulis voting no. Councillor Robich voting yes. Councillor Skenzich voting yes. Councillor Ioni voting yes. And Mayor Oberstar voting yes. Been moved 4-1 passage. Mr. Plesha, see Jim, and he'll get you all the legal papers you need on that then.
Very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming. Okay. We got, that was agenda item addition. We got one more. Let's get that out of the way. Tara Reinerson, our city wastewater treatment plant operator down there. Councilors want to go to a training class, and I'll have the clerk speak of it. Can you say something about it? I'm all for training, more learning, more education, better off Gilbert can be, I think, with their knowledge.
Mayor, that is some required training. There's some continuing education hours she can get. Unfortunately, I don't have any more information on the total costs as that request came late this morning, and there was no other information. I can only speculate that we'll see if there's a city vehicle available. It's down in St. Cloud. So I don't have the usual request to go, as that wasn't provided to us. So what you have is the email that I received.
I'm all for
But it is.
Thanks for coming.
But Mayor, it is, and Sam can speak to this. This is continuing education that she does need for her certifications and license.
Yes, it is, and I believe she needs the. Was it in the paperwork that she needed them by November or something? The continuing education classes, and this was the only one, or this was one of the ones that was available for her to go to.
Yes. Sam, her email did say that it was November she needed them by.
Right, and I know, the problem is we've been really swamped down at the plants, and I know, she's been able to go here and there for them, but then due to this COVID stuff and whatnot, this is the one that they're offering now. So, that's why I think it came up so quick. And she found it online, and it's something they're offering. So, like Jim said, normally we try to get a little more paperwork and stuff before we bring it forward, but this kind of came up, I think, at the last minute.
Okay.
Mayor, if I may, I'll just add that Tara's predecessor, as he retired, this is one of the trainings that he did attend, and I know in the few years I've been here, he went a couple of times. So I think it's just from talking to him when he went, it's valuable training, and it does suit their continuing education needs.
Again, I recommend it, like it says, requirement, and it's
I'll make a motion to approve.
moved by Councilor Polis, supported by
I'll second it.
Councilor Leone to approve this training for Tara Reinerson to attend September 15th to 17th in St. Cloud for her position on the sewer plant. Any more discussion? Councilor Robich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilor Polis.
Aye.
Councilor Leone.
Aye.
Councilor Skinsich.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 5-0. All right, council agenda items are done. So, John, go back to you. Anything else on your other than agenda? Sure, yeah. Okay. All right. City Police Chief, Ty Teacher. Ty?
Yes, Mayor Council. Two things. First thing is reference to the traffic and stuff. We'll start putting a squad car in different areas throughout the days. We'll move them around every day or two. Now that I've got a spare car, try to take care of the traffic issues, especially up on Summit Street. Seems to be where most of the issues are at. So we'll try to put our patrols and stuff up there a little more. I'll have my officers sit up there too for an hour at a time, and they can monitor traffic and report back to me what they're seeing or what they're seeing for violations. The second thing is, which I will provide the council an email list here probably by Friday. We started the blight rather aggressively. We did 67 properties right in town there, and there's another 20 some, I believe, that are in the outlying areas of French Avenues, Sparta, and Differing Point. So I'll provide the council with a list. The list that you'll be provided will be the address, what the issue is, and that'll be about it. We won't provide the owner's name or address, as we're not here to embarrass or bring to light any people. However, if the council does so request individually that they'd like to see the names, we will certainly provide a list. I've got a Michelle did a rather detailed Excel spreadsheet for all of these. So I'll make sure I get them to the mayor and also to the administrator in regards to it. So because they are listed on the blight stuff, so they're at least somewhat aware, even though I'm taking all the phone calls. And I've been on vacation for the last couple of days. I see I have 19 voicemails, and it looks like they're going to be all blight related. We did have about I think there was 13 properties that were in compliance. They called and said, we're mowing the lawn, I'll be taking care of it. So I believe we've got 13 in compliance. So of the 67, we've got 13 in compliance within the first day or two of the letters coming. So we're getting a little bit of reaction out of it.
When you're ready to go with that, I would like to set up a meeting with you and Scott Engelstead.
Yep.
And to when it's time for him, that he's so nicely volunteered for that continuation of this blight program.
Yep.
And I'll give him some names that to contact would help.
Yep, and the list we'll provide will be highlighted, the ones that are in compliance, and then he can go through and conduct a follow-up on the ones that are not in compliance. So, I'll provide you with a list tomorrow. In fact, I'll send out a list tomorrow, just a beginning list tomorrow, so the council kind of has it on record. They can kind of look and see what we're going after. We're generally going after the long grass. I foresee us after this first round. Probably looking a little closer into the construction materials that are just kind of laying around and stuff like that. But we're trying to get the worst ones right off the bat. So,
and also, if you could inform all these people that we have this roll-off down here. A lot of people are not aware of in town that we have a roll-off to put things like this in there.
Yep.
I guess it's like a hidden secret still. So.
Yep, and yeah, and one of the issues that we're going to try to provide for the council here in the future too is one of the things is we're looking for compliance. However, we're not going to go through this year after year of the same people. So we're certainly going to make it known that if you have a long grass issue, we're not going to keep sending letters out to you to kick your long grass. Next year, they'll probably just receive a citation in the mail. And it's going to be, you can pay the fine because it's just not worth our time. It's pretty simple. If your grass gets to be long, you cut it. And that's what we're kind of working towards, is just compliance. So.
Okay, very good. Like I said, when you're ready to have Scott and that crew, let's get a meeting going and so we can, plan.
Yep. Sounds good. If the council has any questions of me.
Anybody else got anything?
I just got one thing.
Councilor Polis.
Ty, I just want to say I appreciate what your officers and you are doing out there with being shorthanded for the longest part of time. And I know a lot of people appreciate what you do. So just wanted to put that out there.
Oh, and thank you. And like I said, when it comes to the traffic stuff, we should be able to work a little bit more of it. Now summer's winding down. But the perfect example is Friday, the two officers that work and had 17 calls for service, and one of them resulted in sitting at the hospital for 4 hours with a psych patient. So unfortunately, we have time at 3 o'clock in the morning to work traffic. There's no traffic. So we just have those days where if we have 15, 17, or even 20 calls between the two communities, we're humping it pretty good. However, we do have those days that they are slower. Obviously, rain days and stuff are a little slower. So we'll try to get out there. We'll try to get up on those hills to really try to make our presence be known and try to get the word out. We're making some traffic stops and potentially issue some citations.
I just want to say thanks, Joe, and I agree. Thanks for all your work. But I'd like to have you and Sam work together on faded yield and stop signs in Gilbert. My experience in the past is people can get away in court with improper signage levels, up or down, too low, too high. There is I don't want to say there is a blueprint on what your sign is supposed to be, how high and how low they're supposed to be. And if they're faded, you can't tell what they are. I know there's some yield signs that are, the yield is not, you can't see the wording. So if there's a way, a loophole to get out, they'll use it. So we need to have those, and there's not all of them in town, but there are a few that need to be replaced. I'll just let you know that if you had to go to court and if somebody wanted to challenge, if they're not in the proper length, height, looking like a stop sign, looking like a yield sign, they're going to get out of it.
Yep, and I'll make contact with the traffic engineer from St. Louis County and see if he can provide some guidance. They redid all the signage on Indiana Avenue, which is a county road. So hopefully, if we can get some consistency with our signage. I know stop signs are stop signs. However, when it comes to speed limits and stuff, the signage has to be put every so many feet to be from intersections and stuff like that. So I'll get some help from the county. They're pretty good at the local streets because they do have some smaller communities that they do it for because it's not an organized government. So I'll get some information and we'll see if we can't get some signs up and we'll try to do it right.
Yeah, very good. And then the Hopkins Park gates, I'm sure Sam is going to say they're being built or they're worked on or whatever. So,
Yep, and I guess our agency can certainly help on locking those gates and monitoring that area. So
I don't know where we're at with the gates. So, but we do. I know there's a lot of things. I know there's only so much time, but we okayed gates. We used to have gates starting at Christmas time here, you know. So I don't know. I know I'm not putting anybody on a spot here. No, I'm just trying to move things along. That's all. So they don't get getting bogged down, but there's reasons for that. I understand that, but hopefully we can pick up the pace a little bit better. That's all. That's all.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yep. Thank you. I think you're all ready to go. Anybody else for Ty? Anything? I guess Ty, we'll see you then.
All right. Sounds good, Mayor.
Thanks for coming. Public Works Director, Sam.
Yes, I don't have anything else but agenda items unless council's got something for me. Cemetery update, that's on the list. I don't know if that has to deal with the new property with the property exchange with Bonthams or if that's got to deal with the north side lots. That's on the agenda. I don't, it's under my name here, so
yeah, I think we talked. We beat that one up at the last meeting, so there's nothing more on that one.
I know the well project. Me and John are working on trying to come back to council with some price quotes from some different places. Also, there's a couple other items that I need to get ready for the council for you to approve for water plant upgrade items here coming up at the next meeting. Hopefully we'll have that stuff ready for you. As far as the cleaning and televising on Sherwood Forest Drive, that kind of came back from a big, we had a big rain event last Friday, I believe it was, where we flooded out probably 3 houses down on Sherwood Forest Drive, down on the south end of town, which we've had problems there, like Mr. Mayor said at the last meeting in the early 90s, and now it's came back for some reason. So this would be the first step, is to clean and televise these lines. Or to direct John to go out for bids and set up a bid pack to get some prices for cleaning and televising. Is what I would like the council to direct John to do. I think John could put a better bid package together than I could, and he's done it before. So that would be where it would be nice, and then maybe we could start looking at how our lines are from all the way from Kansas Avenue that would go all the way to the main gate at the sewer plant to clean and televise.
Well, again, it's on our line. I put it on the agenda. I'm recommending that the city council go ahead and authorize city engineer and Sam to go ahead and get this bid out for cleaning and televising of that plant, that line over there. There's something wrong. There's something constricting here, or it's not big enough. 25 years later, it wasn't big enough back then with all the I. So we need to see what the problem is. Otherwise, we get another rain. Heaven forbid we don't get another heavy rain like that. More people are going to get affected, maybe the same ones again. And we cannot have that happen. We need to take some action and find out the problem and then go from there.
I know one thing that came out that night, it seemed like our Lime Lagoon, we had enough, our lagoon, we had enough storage space. It just felt like that we couldn't get the sewage there fast enough. It seemed like it was coming in line too fast for what the line could handle down at the sewer plant. So that's where maybe that's where after this clean and televise or whatnot, we can get some ideas on what the issues are.
Okay, you're breaking up pretty bad on that end, so Sam. But anyway, let's.
Oh, am I? Okay.
I'm going to ask the council again. Let's hopefully get a motion to authorize the Public Works Director, City Clerk, and City Engineer to go out and get the bid process done for an opening so we can award somebody to do this job soon. So we want to make a motion on that?
I'll motion it.
So we want to second that, and I'll second it. Any more discussion?
Yeah.
Councilor Poulos.
Sam, you were talking about at the end there how the wastewater treatment plant or whatever couldn't handle what was coming in. It's coming in too fast. Do you think this whole thing with Ovivo and stuff has possibly something to do with this issue?
No, because our Lime Lagoon is before that. So what the issue was is like I say, I believe is we couldn't put the water in the lagoon fast enough. You know, the pipe, it's like a straw. The straw was too small for the amount of volume that was coming into it. So maybe that would be getting bigger pipe down the road, you know, closer to the plant, so it would have more volume to get into the plant or into the Lime Lagoon. The Lime Lagoon, the lagoon. That's where I think if we had a bigger pipe, you know, maybe from Minnesota Avenue to where it goes into the lagoon, that would have helped bring that volume or the amount of volume water or sewage coming into the plant. It would have helped out on the backups. It wouldn't have backed up as far, is what I'm thinking. But you know, this line we've never cleaned and televised in the past, so maybe this would give us a good idea of what's going on, and if there is any collapsing going on or deterioration along this whole line. So that's where it would be, and then it give us a good idea of what the line consists of and where we would need to be, where we should go fixing it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any more? Councilor Obich, how do you vote? Councilor Obich? She's still there? Hello, Councilor Obich, are you there? Councilor Obich, are you there? Okay, Councilor Pulis, how do you vote?
I vote nay.
Councilor Skinsich?
Aye.
Councilor Leone?
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 3-1. I cannot get a vote by Councilor Robich. Councilor Pulis voting no. Councilor Skinsich, Councilor Leone, Mayor Oberstar voting yes. Motion carries. Okay, John, you're going to take care of that then? Okay. Okay, the well project is still underway then, Sam?
Yeah, I am working with John, and hopefully we will have something to bring to the council by the next meeting. I'm hoping.
Okay. Anything else for Sam by the council? Okay. Thanks, Sam.
Yes.
I just got the Kenny Anderson sidewalk. That's all I got. We're still doing the sidewalks?
I don't know if I will have time, Mr. Mayor.
Are we doing sidewalks this year?
I said I don't know if I will have time. It's a long process for me to go out and visit each site, get quotes, find people to do it. I don't know if I have time with the construction going on, phase 2 possibly starting, water tower going on, and everything else I got to deal with in town.
Okay, well, we'll see how it goes then, all right?
That's all I can do. Yes.
Yep. All right, sue the boss.
I know I only did. I guess, Mr. Mayor, can I speak on that?
Yeah.
I know we only had 1 or 2 people come forward, and it wasn't a big deal to them if they didn't get it this year.
Oh, this is just that small sidewalk.
Just a.
Oh.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. You already did it last year. It's not finished, that's all. Oh.
Oh, okay. I will take a look at it.
You know,
'Cause I do have to do some concrete in town.
No, just that's one piece or 2 pieces at the most, I think, so.
Right. I
Yeah,
remember now. Yep. I'll take a look at it.
If you can't get the rest of them and they're okay with it, that's fine, okay?
Yep.
All right. Library Director, Sue the boss.
Hey, okay. Well, we talked about the opening for the computers. And as I said, I want to start slow and easy, not making any big announcements. Let just word of mouth. We'll go nice and easy and see how well it runs. And Jim and I have talked. If it doesn't go, we stop it. The requests where people have been doing, we call it curbside, but coming in and getting it off the table, has been increasing each week. So it makes me just happy because we are actually getting out the movies and the magazines and the books, and people are so well behaved, and they do the masks and they distance and they're appreciative. So that's going very good. And then I also wanted to say that I got a letter from the Minnesota Department of Education, distributes the state aid to regional library systems. And we have ours to certify, and I will make you all copies, to certify the 2021 minimum level of financial support to be provided for operating expenses for the public library services and participation in the regional public library system programs pursuant to Minnesota statutes. I could name them all. And the state certified level of library support for Gilbert in 2021 is that 90% of state level is 103,500. Represents the equivalent of 90% of the official 2011 state certified level of library support. And unless anyone has some questions, that's it.
Oh,
Any questions?
sounds good. Everything's good. And apparently you're going to be able to open up here. So,
Well, like I said, we'll do it gently. No big advertisements as we're open. It'll just be, a thing on our face, on our website, and
very good. Any questions by the council for Sue? Okay. Thanks, Sue.
thank you.
I'm going to back up one more thing for John Jamnick and Sam. Wandering Pines issue with the water going into parking lot with the trail, Masabi Trail. What's any solution to report on that?
Nothing yet, Mayor. We've been having a pretty busy week, me and John, and we will still be, we'll still be working on that here. Hopefully we can get something to you guys by next meeting.
Okay, I just want to throw something out there. There's a trail about 10 feet wide. It's leaning in over that direction, which used to be grass once upon a time. Now it's a parking lot of dirt. So now we got a water issue over there. And I think on half of that, if it was blacktop, so it's kind of like straight across, you wouldn't have that. Half blacktop to make it a straight, even piece of trail. You know what I mean? Okay, I know it's going to be a little, probably cost some bucks, but that would help the water from going down in there. Well, it's all leaning that way, which used to be grass and nobody there. So here we are now. All right, please, let's don't forget about that, all right? All right, now we have the campground directors, Barb and John Ronan. Welcome.
Well, everything's been, we're here. Everything's going good. Basically same as it's been. Our next 4 weekends, I just double checked, are full. So everything's going good. We're not having any issues at all. So we're good on our end.
That sounds real good. And how about, are we in dire need of that roof yet, anywhere yet? Or do we need to push it faster, or that shingling of that roof one?
We are getting some water damage in the ceiling, Mr. Mayor, and it's something that probably should be done before winter, but I know there's time constraints for the crews and getting bids out.
Well, can we get John or somebody and get the bids out on that thing for John?
Well, yeah, we provided some cost estimates. Do you want to proceed with that then?
Yeah, it's going to come on a campground, and we're
yeah, we can get some quotes to get
campground.
somebody to do that roofing, a little bit of roofing on the main building, right?
That's correct.
Where their office is, yeah.
Yeah.
This year and next year do everything else.
Yeah.
Everybody okay with that? Somebody make a motion to authorize John to get cost estimates. Do we need bids or anything like that, John? Quotes. Okay. Okay, okay, and look at that damage. He's talking about water damage. Maybe there's more insulation or something that got damaged or something. Everybody okay with that, or want to make a motion to that? Allow that to go?
I'll move for John to go out for bids for quotes for roofing the main building, office building down at the campground.
I'll second.
Motion by Councillor Skensett, supported by Councillor Pulis to allow city engineer to go out for quotes for re-roofing the main office building at the Sherwood Forest Campground and whatever else it takes to make that whole. Any more discussion? Councillor Robich?
Aye.
Councillor Pulis?
Aye.
Councillor Leone?
Aye.
Councillor Skensett?
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, John? Thank you.
Maybe now that you can hear it, you can get her vote on that, even though we passed it, maybe just for record, you can get her vote on that.
Okay, I can go back, and that's fine. I can do that too. Councillor Robich, we could not hear you or in any fashion on that vote on that access road.
No, it was the.
Well, the clean and televising of that line down here. You wish you throw a vote in on that?
Yes, sorry, I must have had a bad connection. My vote was aye.
Aye? Okay, aye you say? Was it aye you say?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, let's adjust that vote to Councillor Robich, Skansich, Councillor Leone, Mayor Oberstar, aye, and Councillor Pulis, no. Okay? I'm okay with that. We're still here. We haven't gone home, and everything is good. Thank you. All right. Anything else for John and Barb there? John and Barb?
Yeah, we're here. We've got nothing else unless anybody has any questions.
Okay, anybody on the council?
I'll try to stop down there on Sunday to see you guys if I get time.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thank you for all that you do down there. Everything is fine. I'm hearing all good reports. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
You're welcome, Mayor.
All right, and City Administrator Clerk Jim Paulson, please.
Thank you, Mayor. We're just starting on budget season here for 2021, but as we are knee deep in, or a little bit deeper than that in 2020, revenues for the city are about 56% through July, and through July, of course, is 58% of the year. So that's a little bit ahead of last year's collection, so we are looking good there. It's looking with everything, we know we had a lot of issues with COVID, a lot of worries about what the revenue stream is going to look like. Assurances from the state and the county. Looks like we will match our revenue predictions for this year, so that's good news. Expenses through 58% of the year, we are right at that 58% number through July. One thing to keep in mind there is we had a lot of expenses from March through July that we will be reallocating to the CARES Act funds that we did receive, and that was just a little north of $134,000 for the city. We did receive those funds about 10 days ago. So budget-wise for 2020, the city is in good shape, and I wanted the council to be aware of that. A couple of other things with the CARES Act funds. We're going to be looking at more updates to our technology, better Wi-Fi and whatnot, to try to get some of these glitches worked out. The iPads seem to be working pretty good, but we're dropping them off a little bit, and I think it's a Wi-Fi issue. We're looking at Wi-Fi over at the Public Works building. Server issues, some reconfiguring of the office space for social distancing. It's, all these are covered expenses with the CARES funds, and I think it'll be good improvements for the city. And I think we're going to be doing Zoom meetings once again, probably till the spring, maybe early summer. So they're good investments to have, and it doesn't cost the city. Other than that, just questions I'll take from the council, and everything else I have is agenda items.
Just would you report to the council? We will be having our auditor is done. He'll be here on the meeting of the 8th. And just a quick hint, everything is looks good except the garbage fund is not up at the $47,000 shortfall, is down to 20. So we need some more work to do on the garbage fund. Didn't completely rectify that problem. Other than that, everything was kind of good.
Yeah, we just received the final audit, so I will forward that on to the council here this week, so you have plenty of time to take a look at it. So we're ready for Greg's report. Greg will be at the working session on September 8th to answer any questions the council has. And once again, I'll get that final audit report to everybody. But the audit came out really well. I had a nice conversation with Greg. He said it's the audit was as smooth as it's been in the last 15 years or so. So it was good for us to hear that. I of course think we're in the right direction for the administrative side of the city, and reinforced with the auditor. So I look forward to his report on the 8th.
Thank you. Jim, I put one of these, I made up a list of lights that are out and lights that are needed at some places in town on the Lower Road, because people are using Lower Road or Summit Street, one or the other, because they don't want to go through this traffic area. So if you want to take a look at that and probably help Sam get that thing up at Holiday done.
Yep, I'll do that. Thank you, Mayor.
Shouldn't be.
Yeah, that Holiday, that light up there at Holiday, that is, and I remember talking to MnDOT a little bit about that, and they said, oh, though the ambient light from the fixtures in the area will be enough, and I got to disagree with that, because it is dark up there at that intersection outside of Holiday. So I'll work with Sam and find out where the hang up is on that permit, and we'll get that thing going.
I'll just tell council, I got 5 or 6 light bulb, 9 light bulbs out in town. I found light bulbs out. I have light poles that are needed. You can look at them. Lower Kansas Avenue over here, by Gillespie, Lower Kansas. No light there, no light pole or nothing in that intersection, nothing. There's a light pole by a recycling, but no light. A light should be on the arm with a light on that pole. There's a pole there. Kansas needs a pole and a light. Nebraska needs a pole and a light at the bottom. New Jersey needs a light and a pole at the bottom. Okay, those are the poles. Between the Lower Road, between Iowa, which is the stop sign there by the campground, and the ball field, there's a pole with no light. There's a long distance in between there that just needs a light. And then the rest are light bulbs. Top of Wisconsin, this one here has been knocked down since spring over here when snow was here by Wisconsin and Court Street here, right across from Broadview Manor here. I don't know who knocked it down, but it's been down. I remember it was snow on the ground. And it's still there. And it's been laying down here in the yard. Honest to God, you could put a man on Mars quicker than some of this stuff, really. I don't know. I'm really getting frustrated with that stuff. Councilor Kensich.
Do you happen to have the one, there's one on Nevada and it would be 3rd Court Street, kind of by Jerry Hawking and I can't think of who lives across the street right now.
No, I don't have that one on there.
The shade on that one is just dangling.
Really?
Yeah, it's ready to fall.
Nevada?
That should be looked at.
Nevada and Court?
3rd Court.
Okay, Nevada and 3rd Court. How about over your area? French, anything?
Oh, it's pretty lit up over there.
Oh. Okay, safety is, okay. All right, Jim, thanks for that report. Anything else for the, how about our deputy clerk? Do you have anything want to say? Want to thank you for your job with the minutes and everything and all the other stuff that you do. We never give you enough thanks. No, all right.
Mayor, I will add, the office runs very well with Sandra in that position. She does a lot of stuff for the city. She doesn't get thanked very often, so I know it's appreciated by myself and I know the council also. So it's nice for her to be acknowledged. Yeah. Thank you.
And you've been doing extra hours because we don't have that special person on board yet, right? And that's the only reason now. Thank you for taking up those extra hours. And once we get that special person up and running, things will be back to normal again, right? All right, nobody else? Approve some board commission minutes. Evelyn Vale, Gilbert School District Joint Powers Board minutes of August 12th.
I'll make a move.
Motion by Councilor Pulis, supported by
I'll support.
Councilor Skinsich to approve the minutes of August 12th, Evelyn Vale, Gilbert School District Joint Powers Recreation Board meeting. Any more discussion on that? Councilor Robich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilor Pulis.
Aye.
Councilor Skinsich.
Aye.
Councilor Leone.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 5-0. Gilbert Planning and Zoning minutes of June 1st, 2020.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Moved by Councilor Pulis, supported by Councilor Leone to approve the Gilbert Planning and Zoning minutes of June 1st, 2020. Any more discussion? Councilor Robich. How do you vote?
Aye.
Councilor Pulis.
Aye.
Councilor Skinsich.
Aye.
Councilor Leone.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 5-0. Campground Advisory Board minutes of August 11th.
I'll move.
Motion by Councilor Pulis. Second. Support by Councilor Skinsich. Any more discussion? Thank the board for being on board and working on the minutes here, and it's all new to them, and they're doing a fine job. They've come up with some fine repair lists for us to council to look at, and updated rate list for 2021 for us to in our budget talks to consider and act upon. So thanks for the board to getting active, and our directors down there for helping them and all their needs and questions they may have down there. All right, Councilor Robich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilor Pulis.
Aye.
Councilor Skinsich.
Aye.
Councilor Leone.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, we have the wastewater treatment plant. Do we have Ron Lafon on the phone?
Mayor, Ron informed us yesterday he was not going to be able to make this meeting.
Okay. Well, update here. I alluded it to some of it today at this meeting, or it was a working session. We had that meeting with Ron was on phone, and Ovivo representatives, and John and Jim and Sam and Tara. We had a good meeting yesterday. A lot of things were brought to light. We figured we'd touch base maybe in a couple more weeks, see if any positions or ideas have changed. And so with that said, I don't know how much of that punch list has been done. The certificate of substantial completion, I guess, is my understanding, is we can pass it or we don't have to pass it. It's not the final. Or is this a final one, John? It's not the final.
That one, there's a list in the agenda package that's on Stantec letterhead that has, I don't know what, 12 or so different items with different completion dates on them. So
a lot of electrical work.
Yeah, I think there's more completion dates that need to be finished on this.
Well, again, we've tabled it again. I think I want to see more done on that substantial, on that completion date. And the electrical had a whole list, and things aren't labeled? Come on now. I read this. Things aren't labeled?
The way I understand it too is that this really puts out to your warranty on the I don't know if the dates are
No.
proof or not, but for example, the influent buildings got a substantial completion date of March 20th, March 26th, or 24th. That issue between then and 2 years from now.
Yeah. I think we, until we see more improvements in that punch list, we table it again.
I'll motion to table.
Motion by Councilor Pulis, supported by
I'll support.
Councilor Skinsich to table the certificate of substantial completion at the wastewater treatment plant until council sees more improvements in the punch list and operations of that sewer plant. I would say sewer plant, wastewater treatment plant. Any more discussion? Councilor Robich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilor Pulis?
Aye.
Councilor Skinsich? Aye. Councilor Leone?
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 5-0. Minnesota 37 update. We went through that in quite detail in other parts of this meeting. Any more we need to talk about there? Okay. High water tower update. There was a great list in our packet here of things that have been done up there. If everybody had a chance to review that. A lot of things were done up there in that short period of time that they've been up there. And Sam and I think John are watching or reviewing all the daily operations. So, and then we're getting a report. They're having meetings, I guess, here. Like they had one today, I think at 8:30, or tomorrow there will be one. Oh.
That's a Sam question. I'm not, he's more up to speed on what's going on up at the
I don't know
tank
if he
there.
left already.
Yeah, Mayor, they're having weekly meetings.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, every Tuesday.
Well, we're getting reports and everything. It looks like it's on, everything's up and up the up. And I see the sandblasting. That's what it looks like after sandblasting up there. Sandblasted all that out. Oh. All right. Now we get into new business. Resolution 2019. I'll get my glasses on for this, I think. No, maybe not. 2019 is oh boy, let's see. Dealing with our bond. Jim, you want to talk about that bond today a little bit?
Yeah, first I'll turn it over to Chris from Ellers. He's on Zoom, and he can bring us all up to speed on today's sale.
Thank you, Jim. Good evening, Mayor, council members. In front of you this evening is our sale day report for the city's Series 2020B bonds. We assisted the city with this bond sale. We opened the bids this morning. And so this sale day report summarizes those results. So this is par amount $3,175,000 general obligation temporary water and sewer revenue bonds. If you flip to the first page here, you'll see the purpose to finance the city's phase 2 portions of the water and sewer projects throughout the city in anticipation of the state of Minnesota PFA loan and also grant funding, and then also IRRB and CDBG grant funds as well to ultimately take out this temporary bond issue. Similar to the 2020A issue, this 2020B issue also received a rating from S&P, which is what allows it to achieve the lowest possible interest rate as a result of this SP1 plus rating. That's the best possible short-term rating that S&P can assign to a bond issue. And you can see here that 3 bids were received as of 11 o'clock this morning. The low bidder, again, happened to be Colliers Securities. If you remember back to the 2020 A sale from a couple of months ago, that's the same underwriting firm that actually bought the city's 2020 A bonds. So it's kind of an interesting coincidence that they also were the low bidder here for the 2020 B series. And maybe the most important piece of information included in this report is this low bid number. You can see there the interest rate is, and that is in there correctly. That decimal place is not in the wrong spot. That's 0.3672%. And so this is, you know, is fantastic of a bond sale result as the city had back with its 2020 A issue. This is even about just shy of 15 basis points better than that sale, which speaks to the fact that the bond market has actually come down even a little bit more since earlier this summer. But then also the comfort level that these 3 bidders had with the likelihood of being, you know, repaid on July 1st, 2022 with the city's strong security. So the 3 bids, virtually no spread between these 3, with the low bid at 36 basis points, the high bid at 37 basis points. So that's incredibly tight. So the interest difference is minimal at $650 between those 2. And then the summary of this result for the low bid, again, $3,175,000 par amount for those phase 2 projects. Underwriter's discount, that's what Colliers paid themselves. That's $4,921. True interest cost, again, 36 basis points. That's 0.3672%. Cost of issuance, that's Eller's advisory fee, as well as S&P's rating fee and Freiberger for bond counsel work. That's $35,661. The yield is what the investors will ultimately earn on this investment, 28 basis points. So again, speaks to just how really incredibly low interest rates have come. And the total net P&I, $3,189,199. The 2020B issue, just like the 2020A issue, will be callable as of July 1st, 2021. And so as the city receives proceeds from whether it be PFA for loan funds or PFA for grant funds, or the IRRB grant funds or CDBG grant funds, the city can be taking out this principal beginning July 1st, 2021, and that will even further reduce any interest expense that the city will be, you know, incurring while the temporary bonds are outstanding. Closing date, that's the date that the city will receive the proceeds from this sale. That's September 17th, 2020. And then the formal action in front of you this evening would be to adopt the resolution awarding the sale of $3,175,000 general obligation temporary water and sewer revenue bonds, Series 2020B, to Colliers Securities based out of here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The few attachments, first being the bid tabulation that summarizes the sale results. Again, 3 bids were received: Colliers, United Bankers Bank out of Bloomington, and Piper Sandler out of Chicago. Far right-hand column, again, you can see just how tight that bidding spread is, from 0.3672% for the best bid to 0.3785% for the worst bid. Is frankly about as tight of a spread as I've ever seen, and frankly is you know the lowest interest rates that I have ever seen for a 2-year maturing bond issue. So this is really surprising even for me, frankly. The next attachment is the total issue sources and uses. So on the sources side, you can see there $3,175,000 is the par amount of the bond issue. On the uses of funds, just a little bit of original issue discount included here. I won't get into that, but again, it's only $1,714. Underwriter's discount, that's again what Colliers paid themselves, issuance costs, and then what's remaining, the $3,132,703. That's for the projects for the city. And one additional thing to add here is we had included an allowance for the winning bidder to take a little bit more in underwriter's discount to pay themselves more than this $4,921 amount. It was actually closer to about $25,000 that we had included because they paid themselves so little in taking down this bond issue. There's actually just shy of $20,000 of additional proceeds that the city will get for those phase 2 projects. And not only that additional $20,000, but because the interest rate is something like a third of what we had estimated it to be in our pre-sale report a month ago, the total interest expense to the city is actually significantly less, even though you're getting an additional $20,000 in proceeds. So overall, a very good story there. Next attachment is the final debt service schedule. This is pretty simple with that single maturity there on July 1st, 2022 of the $3.175 million. Coupon of just 25 basis points here, and that's how that original issue discount works. The interest rate is slightly higher than the coupon because they put in that slight discount. Interest rate of, or total interest cost, pardon me, of $14,199. And that total P&I, $3,189,199. And then finally, the updated rating report from S&P is attached. Frankly, no changes between the 2020A rating report and this one. And so it was a very simple process getting this updated from S&P, and there was actually a reduced rating fee because they rated the city just within 90 days. That being said, for this type of bond transaction, an updated rating is required. So it was a required step, but it was done at a reduced rate, and no changes from the 2020A report. So overall, fantastic results. And with all of that said, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. And just to repeat, the formal action would be to adopt that resolution awarding the sale of the $3,175,000 GO temporary water sewer revenue bonds 2020B to Collier Securities based out of Minneapolis here.
All right, thanks, Chris, for all your work that you're doing there for us at Elders.
You bet.
You did a very fine job securing this money for us. My question would be, and maybe the council is probably thinking about this, 2022, when we refinance our finance, what will be left for the duration of the next 18 years after this? This is only a 2-year thing. Then there'll be 18 more to go, right?
That's right. So the way that works is the city will be receiving a significant amount of proceeds from PFA in the form of both loans, but also grants. And so that'll take out a big chunk of both this just over $3 million issue, and then also the $1.4 or so million 2020A issue. And then additionally, the IRRB grant funds, that's somewhere in the ballpark of $250,000, will take out another portion, and CDBG will take out another portion. It is likely that there will be some remaining, cleanup amount. And in 2022, it will then be, for the city to determine how you would like to, along with, hopefully with our guidance, how you would like to go about taking out that remaining principal amount. And so if it's small enough, say a couple $100,000, you could potentially do it with fund balance. I know the electric fund is performing very strong right now, and if that were to continue, then you could potentially do some sort of interfund loan, and that would obviously be interest free. If it was something more in the ballpark of say $500,000 to $800,000 in outstanding amount that would be required to be cleaned up, then we would recommend what we call a limited competitive bank placement, where you're not accessing the broader nationwide bond market like we did with these two larger issues, but instead putting a term sheet out to local and regional banks to get their best bid. And it's a simpler, more streamlined process, less issuance costs, that sort of thing. If it's in the ballpark of $1 million plus, then likely the way that you would take that out is with a full competitive bond sale, and structure that over whatever, seems to be most appropriate, whether it's 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, whatever it may be. But that would be, through your own general obligation competitive bond sale.
And you feel at that time, maybe 2 years, that the interest might be the same, but I know you can't say anything, but just giving me your experience, knowledge, what do you think? So.
Yeah. I don't know how it's possible for interest rates to go any lower than they are today. I suppose rates, we've seen some countries like Germany, their sovereign debt, and also in Japan, their rates have literally gone negative, which, even a few years ago, you never would have heard of that. And so I guess it's possible for Minnesota municipal bonds to go negative too, in theory. We're almost there now, given that the city's borrowing for 2 years at, literally the coupon is 25 basis points. And so, yeah, I don't know if there's any room for rates to go any lower. But that being said, I wouldn't expect rates to, knock on wood, I wouldn't expect rates to skyrocket between now and 2 years from now. I would expect them to be somewhere within a percentage point or maybe 1.5 percentage points of where we are today, which is still relative to historical standards. If you could borrow, if you could guaranteed borrow at 1.25% 2 years from now, every city would do that, because that would be historically a phenomenal interest rate.
Okay, thanks. Thank you for that information. Okay, Councilor, we got this 3.175,000. I got a resolution I need to read aloud, and I'm not going to read it aloud until we get a vote on this thing, so I can plug in the information. Councilor Poulos.
Is this the bonding for the phase 2 project then?
That's correct. This is the financing for the phase 2 project portion, and this will basically complete that work, and then allow the takeout funds to come in from the various entities. And then if there's a cleanup financing required 2 years from now, at that point the projects will be done. It'll just be a matter of doing a new bond issue if even need be, just to take out the remaining temporary bond portion. But by that point, the phase 2 projects would be completely done.
Councilor Poulos, this is bonding for phase 2, for the high water tank, for the low water tank, and for the water meters. All of them are in this 3 million. All 4 of those projects are in here. Phase 2, high water tank, low water tank, and water meters. We won't have to do any more bonding this year. This is all in here. And the other bond we did was for the Main Street portion. So we have 4, the money we saved, if we okay this contractor, we can take that money on a low water tank and the water meters out of this money right here. And we already approved this. It was just accepting the bond, the money from this borrower. We're borrowing this money right now. So are we ready to go? My thing is okay here. How do we keep on going in and out, in and out, and in and out? Hold on. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Moved by Councilor Skenzis, supported by Councilor Leone, to approve the bond sale to Colliers Securities LLC of Minneapolis, Minnesota, at the amount of $3,175,000 general obligation temporary bonds, water and sewer revenue bond series 2020B. Any more discussion? Councillor Pulis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councillor Skinsich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councillor Leone, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Councillor Robich.
Nay.
Motion carries 4-1. Councillor Robich voting nay. Councillor Pulis, Councillor Skinsich, Councillor Leone, Mayor Oberstar voting yes. Motion carries. And now I need to read aloud the resolution. Resolution 2020-19, is that correct?
Yes.
2020.
That is correct, Mayor. Resolution 2020-19.
19, authorizing the issuance, sale, and delivery of $3,175,000 general obligation temporary water and sewer revenue bonds series 2020B. Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Gilbert, St. Louis County, Minnesota, this issuer as follows. Section 1, bond purpose authorization and award. 1.01, authority. Pursuant to the authority contained in Minnesota Statute Section 444.075 and 115.46 and 475.61, subdivisions 5 and 6, and Chapter 475, the issuer does hereby direct the issuance and sale of $3,175,000 general obligation temporary water and sewer revenue bonds series 2020B of the issuer dated September 17, 2020. The bonds for the purpose of providing funds for the temporary financing of a portion of the construction costs of improvements to the issuer's sewer system, the sewer utility, and the water system. The water utility, the project, in anticipation of permanent obligations issued by the issuer to finance the improvements, the permanent financing, which is necessary for the timely payment of anticipated expenditures from the construction account established herein. Principal of and interest on the bonds is payable from the proceeds of the permanent financing and net revenues to be derived from the operation of the issuer's sewer utility and water utility, collectively the utilities. 1.02 findings. It is necessary and desirable that the issuer issue its $3,175,000 general obligation temporary water and sewer revenue bonds series 2020B to finance the project. 1.03 independent municipal advisor. The issuer has retained the services of Ehlers and Associates Incorporated as its independent municipal advisor. And 1.04 award of sale. The issuer has received an offer from Colliers Securities LLC of Minneapolis, Minnesota, the purchaser, to purchase the bonds at a cost price of $3,168,364.25 plus accrued interest on the total principal amount from the date of issuance to the date of delivery of the bonds. And upon condition of that the bonds mature and bear interest at the times and annual rates set forth in Section 2, the issuer, after due consideration, finds such offer reasonable and proper, and the offer of the purchaser is hereby accepted. The actions of the mayor and the executive administrator clerk taken with respect to the sale of the bonds are hereby ratified and approved. Payment of the underwriter's discount in the amount of $4,921.25 from the gross proceeds of the bonds is authorized. And there are about 4 or 5 different other pages in here in terms of the bonds they'll be placed on file for reading by anybody in the city of Gilbert or councilors. And with that extract of the minutes of the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Gilbert, Minnesota, pursuant to due call and notice, therefore, a regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Gilbert, St. Louis County, Minnesota, was duly held on August 25th, 2020 at the City Council at 6:30 p.m. The following members were present. At the following were present, Councillor Skinsich, Councillor Robich, Councillor Leone, Councillor Pulis, and Mayor Oberstar. Nobody, and the following members were absent, none. Member Councillor Skinsich introduced the following resolution and it was moved by adoption by Councillor Leone. Resolution authorizing the issuance, sale, and delivery of the $3,175,000 general obligation bonds, temporary water and sewer revenue bonds, Series 2020B. The motion for the adoption of the foregoing resolution was duly seconded by Councillor Leone. And upon a vote being taken thereon, the following vote in favor thereof. The following members voted the following members voted in favor: Councillor Skinsich, Councillor Pulis, Councillor Leone, Mayor Oberstar. Voting against were members Councillor Robich. Whereupon the resolution was declared duly passed and adopted 4-1. Thank you. We're on our way. That is approved and adopted. And is Chris still there? There you go, Chris.
Well, here. Thank you, Mayor, council members. It's been a pleasure. And special thank you also to Jim for your hard work. You've made my job very easy. So thank you very much, Jim.
And thank you and all your people at Ellers for us. Thank you.
All right. Have a great night, everyone.
Yeah. Night. Good job, Council. All right. Now I got my agenda over here. All right, now, next we have two other things we have to do, and that's the 2020-21 infrastructure bid consideration. We have a low bidder, and John will talk about it. Wasabi Bituminous, with probably a subcontractor of his for the infrastructure digging and stuff. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, on August 20th, the city received bids on phase 2 of the 2020/2021 infrastructure improvement project. We received 6 bids. Wasabi Bituminous was the low bidder. There was 2 parts to the bid, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 being Wasabi's total bid was $1,727,591.50. We would recommend that the city project is to be awarded and Wasabi Bituminous to offer the contract with the city of Gilbert 2020/2021 infrastructure improvement project to an amount of $1,727,591. That's the bid tabulation and also the bid that we received on the project. And study section set up map kind of show the location of basically all the projects we've been talking about in the phase 2 project.
All right, we have the low bidder. I have my figure here is $1,727,591.50 to Wasabi Bituminous. So that's the motion we need.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Motion by Councillor Skinsich, supported by Councillor Leone to approve the winning contractor bid to Wasabi Bituminous for $1,727,591.50 for parts 1 and 2 of this phase 2. Any more discussion? Councillor Pulis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councillor Skinsich.
Aye.
Councillor Leone.
Aye.
Councillor Robich.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 5-0. All right. Wasabi Bituminous is a contractor. And with that low bid, we were able to save some money and go into the bids of meter bids. The electric bids come out of electric fund and the sewer bids will come out of this resolution we just did. I mean, the bond. So let's, I don't have the paperwork on that 522,000. You got it there? I got the last meeting, but not in this meeting.
Yeah, I've got it. Back on, this is the meter, water and electric meter, supply and installation bid. The city received back on June 23rd, 2020. Got one quote from Core and Maine. The base bid was $522,570.48. Broken out between the electric meters and the water meters and the installation. For the total cost of $522,000. We did have to add alternates. Alternate number one was to install a water valve in case while we're doing the installation of the meter, have to install a water valve. The contractor provided a quote of $1,452 for the valve. And if we have to freeze the water service to make the installation, that alternate number two, $1,470.
Okay, what is the total? So if you do all, when might, let's do them all. I mean,
That's $542,570.
and with those two options in there?
And alternates would be as needed.
Okay,
So the contractor.
as needed. Okay, as needed. All right. And we include that in the as needed, that option, both options, right?
I don't know how many we would anticipate, a handful of it.
Yeah, but,
Having it so we know.
yeah. What about the other one, the freezing? Both were talking,
Yeah.
same thing. Okay. All right, everybody ready to go?
Yeah.
So we're gonna make a motion for $522,570.48. So what was the name of the place again?
Corin and Maine.
Corin.
O-R-E and M-E-I-N.
M-E-I-N?
M-E-I-N.
M-A-I-N, okay. Corin, Maine, $522,470.48 with the two options as needed. I know I've had it back there. I thought it would be in this packet, but that's from last meeting, or last two meetings, actually. Thank you.
You can give that to Jim after.
Yeah, but alternate number 1 and 2 is needed. Somebody make a motion on that?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Councilor Leone, supported by Councilor Skinsich to award the water meters and electric meters bid to Core and Maine for $522,570.48 and include the add alternate 1 and 2 if needed. Correct?
Yep.
Any more discussion? Councilor Skinsich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilor Leone, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Councilor Pulis.
Aye.
Councilor Robich.
Nay.
Motion carries 4-1. Councilor Robich voting no. Councilor Pulis, Councilor Skinsich, Councilor Leone, and Mayor Oberstar voting yes. All right. That's done. Okay, rezoning request of a few homes down at Sherwood Forest Drive. They were R4, they wanted to go to R1. Jim, you want to speak of that?
Thank you, Mayor. After discovery of an error in the zoning of Lake Orbegon, Block 1, lots 1 through 5, it was determined that these lots should be rezoned. The Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing per the charter, and no residents spoke in opposition of the rezone. It is the Commission's recommendation that the City Council approve the rezone. These are the 5 lots that are on Sherwood Forest Drive. between the cul-de-sac and Sherwood Forest Drive. So they're not in the cul-de-sac. Looking at the PUD and some of the history back there, as I said, they were never meant to be in the R4 where the cul-de-sac is. They were always meant to be R1. So this is a correction to what we believe is an oversight.
Very good. Thank you. And thank the Planning and Zoning Board for clearing up this situation down there. And we just go ahead and agree and okay the recommendation by the Planning and Zoning Board to change this from R4 to R1.
I'll make a motion to change lots 1 through 5 from R4 to R1.
All right, motion by Councillor Skenzich, supported by?
I'll second it.
Second by Councillor Leone to approve the recommendation by the Planning and Zoning to rezone Lake Orbegon Block 1 lots 1 through 5 from R4 to R1. Any more discussion? Councillor Obich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councillor Poulos?
Aye.
Councillor Skenzich?
Aye.
Councillor Leone?
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries. Okay, before I get into that Sparta vacation ordinance reading, let's go to the Quad Cities Joint Power Allocation. Councillor Obich, you talked about it earlier, so I guess everything's in order there. That's for to be included into our budget for 2021 for conversation, right? And that's our allocation, so we're nothing to be negotiated. It's there. So council just needs to approve that allocation of 4,000, and this is probably per capita. It says percent of population, but it's probably every person is paying the same no matter what city you're living in. Gilbert's portion for 2021 is $4,032.45. So do I hear a motion to approve the Quad Cities Point Joint Powers Board recommendation of Gilbert's portion for the 2021 allocation amount of $4,032.45?
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Councillor Robich, supported by?
I'll support.
Councillor Poulos. Any more discussion? Councillor Robich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councillor Poulos.
Aye.
Councillor Skenzich.
Aye.
Councillor Leone.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 5-0. All right. Any miscellaneous in there? No. Okay, go back to Sparta vacation ordinance reading. We'll have the first reading of the new ordinance, Sparta location road vacations. Copy of the new City of Gilbert ordinance is ready for introduction and first reading. Introduced the first reading tonight, August 25th. Second reading will be September 8th, followed by a vote. And it's either adopted or not. Published September 16th in the official paper. Takes effect October 16th, 2020. Council action is requested to conduct the introduction, which we did last meeting, first reading of tonight of the new ordinance, and the second reading to be at the next regular council meeting of September 8th. So, Gilbert City, Gilbert County of St. Louis, State of Minnesota, ordinance number 2020-01, an ordinance vacating a limited amount of roads located in Sparta location in Gilbert, Minnesota. The City Council of the City of Gilbert do ordain as follows. Whereas the City Council previously passed resolution number 2020-12, noting its interest in vacating pursuant to Minnesota Statute 4.2.851, and the Gilbert city charter, a limited amount of roads located in Sparta location described as 1, Sparta City Drive from County Highway 97 to South Park Drive. 2, North Park Drive from Sparta Circle Drive to Central Entrance. 3, Central Entrance from Sparta Circle Drive to South Park Drive. 4, Elder Road. 5, Oliver Road. 6, Pitt Road. And 7, unnamed road located northeast of Center Entrance, as on this map. And also shown by attachment letter Exhibit A and attachment map Exhibit B, while the city of Gilbert retains any and all utility easements and setting a public hearing to consider the vacation of the such streets, which has been done. And whereas a public hearing to consider the vacation of such streets was held on the 13th day of August 2020 before the City Council in the City Gilbert City Hall, Council chambers at 5:15 p.m. after due published and posted notice had been given, and all interested and affected persons were given an opportunity to voice their concerns and be heard. And whereas any person, corporation, or public body owing or controlling easements contained upon the property vacated reserves the right to continue maintaining the same or to enter upon such way or portion thereof vacated to maintain, repair, or otherwise attend thereto. And whereas given that such streets are no longer of any use to the public, the council is in discretion has determined that it will be in the interest of the public to vacation these street portions. And whereas 4/5 of all members of the city council concur in this ordinance, therefore the city council of the city of Gilbert do ordain that such petition for vacation is hereby granted, and the portions of the streets listed as above and also described in Exhibit A and Exhibit B are hereby vacated. Be it further ordained that the mayor and the executive administrator clerk are hereby authorized to sign all documents necessary to effectuate the intent of this resolution. The executive administrator clerk is directed to prepare a notice of completion of the proceedings and to file it with the St. Louis County auditor and then within the St. Louis County recorder. Pursuant to Gilbert City Charter, Section 5.09, this ordinance shall take effect 30 days after its publication in its official newspaper, adopted by the City Council this day, and that'll be at the next meeting. All right, that's the first reading. I do have something under miscellaneous. I talked to Jim about it a little bit. I'm just going to throw it out there for discussion. And it should go to the Planning and Zoning Board too for discussion. We also knows there are people that like to put garages in these empty lots in Gilbert, and we have an ordinance, no garages without a house. We have businesses putting storage units up there for garages. Other communities in our area here, some have no ordinance like that. They allow it all over the place. And other communities have a specific area of that community just for that. And we've been getting a lot of requests for that. And the planning and zoning administrator is being the bad guy on this. And yes, Gilbert shouldn't have all our empty lots full of garages. That doesn't make economic sense for Gilbert. But maybe planning and zoning and the city council can look at a specific area. And mostly the specific area is over there at the association area. There's a lot of room over there. The association has room for people to put just garages. Okay? So maybe we can devise an ordinance in Gilbert that we're okay with that, change this other existing ordinances and just say that area of Gilbert is allowed to do that. Consider it, think about it, and maybe take it up at another time. Not throughout Gilbert, but a special occasion, if that's, I think the owner would be okay with that, the association owner, because he's got plans of doing a lot of that over there, and it can be done with this new ordinance, even though they're in Gilbert, so it can be done. So if we just allow it all to be done over there, I think we would be helping a lot of people with this issue, and being in competition with rates for storage units. Either way, I mean, it's a win-win situation for everybody, I think. Consider it, think about it, and maybe we'll bring it up another time, okay?
And Mayor, I can bring that forward to the Planning and Zoning Commission at their next regular meeting, which is due to Labor Day, which will be, the next meeting will be September 14th.
Well, I'll just say, everybody think about it, discuss it, hash it over, pros and cons, come back another time if they want to bring that forward in the form of an ordinance. All right, now we have approved payment of bills and payroll upon the proper audit of the clerk and mayor.
I'll move.
Moved by Councilor Pulis, supported by
I'll support.
Councilor Skinsich to approve the payment of the bills and payroll upon proper audit by the clerk and the mayor. Any more discussion on that? Councilor Rovich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilor Pulis.
Aye.
Councilor Skinsich.
Aye.
Councilor Leone.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, no other business, correct? Move to adjourn at 9:15.
Move.
Moved by Councilor Pulis, supported by
Support.
Councilor Skinsich. Any more discussion? Councilor Rovich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilor Pulis.
Aye.
Councilor Skinsich.
Aye.
Councilor Leone.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries. I think we started at 6:33, wasn't it, or 6:35? I don't know if I said that earlier. Get that on the record here, okay? 6:35.
Yeah.
All right, we are adjourned.